What's going on, y'all? It's J Smo Reviews here, back at it again with another video, man. Bringing you guys, as you can see, another COTY Projections video, which originally today I was going to make another video kind of talking about, it's been once again a quiet week in battle rap, and talk about Winter Madness, K-Shine's event that's coming up, and really talk about the lack of promotion for it. The reason that it's been, I feel like, so quiet in battle rap is you don't have events really here at the end of December for the most part, or even I think that first weekend of December. So it's all a lead up to Winter Madness, but there's basically no promotion. Arsenal's been talking a little bit. He's doing kind of an interview, different interviews, doing his tour now. And I think Mook has also talked a little bit back and forth, but the rest of the card, basically nothing. K-Shine's card is a whole topic on its own. I might revisit this convo, as you can see, another time, but with all that quietness, I thought it would be another good time to get a COTY Projections video done, go over some of these years, which is a series, obviously, I just started. We're going to be going over the full resume of a battler, right? What are the high points, low points of the year, kind of catching up on some of that work. Also go over what categories, or would they be, COTY categories? Do they have strengths in compared to weaknesses? And of course, giving my range of where I see a battler. And as you can see, today we're going to be talking about Charron, a year that I think has gotten some respect, but maybe not everyone is fully familiar with the work, and it tends to happen when you have someone that has maybe a predominantly king of the dot resume, right? And, some people watch certain leagues, some people don't keep up with all battle rap, but there's been enough bigger battles this year where I think most people understand Charron's been very good in 2024, but I don't think people know just how dominant either. So it's going to be broken up into a couple different sections here. I'm going to have timestamps as per usual if you want to see the resume part, the category part, or just what I think about the year a little bit at the end, the range I predict. But without further ado, let's talk about Charron's resume. And here it is, the full resume here for Charron in 2024. And like I did with John when I list out his resume, the battles that add the most value to the case, I tried to put at the top, and then it kind of slowly goes down from there to either the less valuable battles, or if someone had a clear loss, which I'll tell you right now, Charron does not this year, but if someone has a clear loss, a bad showing, that'll be more towards the bottom. But like I said, the best performances, the best results he has are at the top. Ilmac, 40 bars, Danny Myers. Not only is it the three best opponents he's had, three top-tier opponents, it also is the best performances and wins that he's had. Ilmac is even more of a career win than it is just for 2024. He had one of his best performances ever versus Ilmac. 3-0, pretty much body bag win, and in my opinion, one of the 5 best performances I've seen across battle rap as a whole this year, to be honest. And then with Danny and 40 bars, these are other performance of the night level performances. He was clearly performance of the night versus Ilmac. Versus Danny, he was performance of the night on UW. That was in New Orleans, 20, 24 different battlers on it. I think they had 10 or 12 battles. So that's insanely impressive. And then 40 bars, which performance of the night type of level. There was a lot going on that weekend. Massacre 6, Tay-Rock and Big K, Twerk and Pass, T-Rex and Chilla. So he wasn't flat out performer of the night like the other two, but those are all very dominant W's and incredible individual performances. Just look at his material, rode uphill for most of those battles. So for me, that's the real backbone of the year. And then you have the rest of what is mostly wins here. Shuffle T, who he battled out in Ireland, 3-0. Emerson Kennedy on the Riot, 3-0. Very good in both of those battles. Just as good, damn near, as he is versus some of the top-tier opponents of the year. The one close battle he has, if you're going to score it close, is him versus Cali Smooth, which is actually good. He won the first clear. Cali won the second clear, and both of them have more of an emotional, maybe even substance-based third, how you want to refer to it. You have to watch it for yourself. Still a very good battle, but there's more of a debate there. And then Anderson Burris on King of the Dot, which was also a 3-0. And that's something you're going to notice. A lot of 30s. Outside of the Cali battle, I think I just named, 6 3-0s? And that just goes to show that level of consistency and seriousness he's bringing in every battle. He's treating Ilmac same way he's treating Anderson Burris, and the material shows it. At the beginning of the year, I think it was a Facebook post, he said he wanted to make a COTY run, that he planned on having an elite year, and he's brought that mentality to every battle, no matter the tier. And then you're going to see under the underscore, which I waited to talk about here after the rest of the resume, there is 2 battles that have either weirder stipulations or kind of circumstances around it, where I put it because it's on his resume, but I don't believe these battles benefit a COTY case. One is Loso in the compliment battle. I believe Barstool put that together, which shout out to them, adding their own little, trying to give the culture some love. But it is champion of the year, not companion of the year. So I'm obviously not going to consider a compliment battle for much. And then you have Smugglers, which was out in the Philippines on Flip Top. which everyone knows, or if you don't know, Flip Top is one of the biggest leagues in the world when it comes to battle rap. In the Philippines, battle rap is mainstream. So they actually did 3 million views, Charron and Smugglers, and they did it pretty fast. So that's pretty crazy. People love million view battles, right? They're battling in different languages. I think of these as more of like a spectacle. It does do crazy numbers. It's great to go out there and kind of travel, but it does not have the same competitive aspect that a Charron and an Ilmac has, a Charron and a Danny, or even something like a Charron and a Shuffle T, which even that goes under the radar for most people. So those two battles, things he did this year, but I don't think exactly add to that killer factor of his Champion of the Year run per se. But like I said, Ilmac 40 and Danny Myers, if you're not caught up on Charron's year, if you don't understand why some people are putting respect on his name, check out one of those 3 battles. The Ilmac battle isn't on YouTube yet. I don't know if the VOD is still up to go get, but 40 bars on YouTube. Danny Myers as well. He showed out just the same in both of those battles. And then, like I said, Shuffle T, Emerson, Anderson, these are battles that I do think he is predicted to win clear going in, so you're only going to get so much from it, but you still have to go out there and rap good. And if you look at these, like I must stress again, the level of material that he brought for Emerson Kennedy or Anderson Burris, pretty much the same as something he brought for 40 bars and Danny Myers. And when you just win all of them clear, it only all adds to your case. So is it the most pop off the page resume compared to a lot of cases we're going to review? No, but there's still a solid 2 to 3 top level people, with one of them being a super legend in Ilmac to build off of. And then in those other battles, even if the level in competition or even impact is down, it's the same level of performance across the year. So now we've looked at the resume in full, each individual battle, right? The performance in each, and now we got to apply that to the COTY criteria, which I will always put up here because I know that it's been hard for people to remember over the years. So this is the 6-piece criteria. So kind of how does that year fit into this? I'm going to go over the categories he's strong in first, and then the ones I think you could kind of pick apart, maybe take away from his year a little bit. So categories of strength, material and consistency, they go hand in hand, and they go back to what I said earlier about the resume. He is bringing the same effort and level of showing for an Anderson Burris that he is an Ilmac. I mean, that's consistency to a T. There's no clear loss or super down performance here. Outside of a Cali Smooth battle, which I still edged his way, I gave him the W, which is, I guess you could debate that, right? But the rest of them are 6-0 clear. He's someone you can genuinely debate as undefeated on the year. There's going to be a couple battlers like that. Just because you're undefeated, there's other factors we'll talk about, right? It doesn't put you right at the top, but for consistency, how much more consistent can you be than being undefeated, right? So it helps you specifically with that. And then also with the material, you have to be rapping really good for that to happen. It's the same level of raps for each performance, as well as result, like an Ilmac battle, or like I said, it's one of the best performances I've seen this year. It's one of the best Charron performances I've ever seen. It's top 5, and I do not think it's 4 or 5 either. And out of these 7 cards he's on here that I'm looking at, he's probably performance of the night on 6 out of the 7. Ilmac, Danny, Shuffle T, Emerson, Cali, and Anderson. He's like the best rapper on the card. And 40, he's one of the best, but there's just so many people that were good that night. It wasn't just flat out clear. So Charron, material and consistency, some of the better categories to have in the ring categories. You want people to be rapping the best shit, and you want to be rapping the best shit often. And then also moments, which is kind of funny for someone here because we're going to talk about his weaknesses in a second. I think with a freestyler, I think someone else that's good like this is Chef Trez. They're going to produce more individual moments you can remember because those rebuttals, like, produce a moment for an event, right? They're spontaneous and they create a bigger kind of shock factor. So when he, at the end of the Ilmac battle, had the whole, why is there a leak in the roof? That's just Pat telling me to carry on his reign. I will never forget that insane mid-round, end-around rebuttal. Also versus Danny Myers, the 5th ward, or was it 7th ward bar that completely shut the building down. No one else moved it, had literally everyone running across in pandemonium like he did that night. Those freestylers know how to make a moment, and versus some other battlers, I think he is going to win that category. So material, consistency, moments, good strengths to have. We've got to talk about the weaknesses a little bit too, right? And I mentioned this because I think usually if you win moments, you get impact. But Charron is someone where I think impact is going to be a little harder to debate for him. And that's just because, listen, if you talk to anyone else that's a casual battle rap fan, or if you ask 10 fans, there's going to be a good amount, 5 if not more, that don't maybe know about his Ilmac battle, right? It was very impactful the night of, but I feel like there's some people that just don't tune in for King of the Dot work as much, right? Or it just doesn't get the same level of coverage. So there's some people that don't even know how that battle happened. You know what I'm saying? The Danny Myers battle, he was very good on UW that night, but some people don't even remember there was a UW card the first quarter of the year, let alone that he was one of the best performers of the night and had a crazy showing on there. So I just think it's almost inherent with Charron. And then also some of these are just on smaller, the Riot Raza card, you know what I mean? The Anderson Burris on the fade on King of the Dot, they're just smaller cards, and his year is not as loud as someone like a Rock, an Av, a Swamp, a T-Top. So impact hurts him a little bit there. And then strength of schedule, which I don't think he has a bad strength of schedule. Like I said, just because it's a weakness against you, it doesn't mean that yours is necessarily bad, but it's how it's going to be compared to other battlers. Ilmac, 40, and Danny is a strong 3 to build off of. 3 top-tier opponents. That's why I say it's not bad. But as you get to Shuffle T, Anderson, Emerson Kennedy, these are respectable battlers. Shuffle T is one of the best in the UK. Emerson Kennedy just made the top 20 list. If it wasn't last year, it was the year before that. Even Callie Swoove, who's won Bags and Bodies. However, compared to some other resumes of some of the top people that have battled, nothing but killers for the most part, multiple legacy plates, a Shuffle T, and Emerson, Anderson. This is going to pale in comparison to someone like a Swamp that's had nothing but, you know what I'm saying, legend plates this year, or the Rocks and the Avs, some of these other top names. So I'm just using those as quick examples. It's not to say, Charron is one of the worst strength of schedules, but even when you look at this, I said the resume is not going to pop like it's going to pop for some other people. So when I look at it, the in-the-ring stuff is there. He's making moments in the ring. The consistency is there, and he's winning dominantly most times. And then he's rapping at a high level. But the reason I can't just look at that is because there's other people who are doing the same thing, but with maybe more effect on the overall year, more impact, and versus better opponents who have a better chance of punching back. Because when we look at Shuffle T, Emerson, right? Not that they're bad, but Charron is predicted to very clearly win those battles going in. And while he's handling business, it doesn't go against him. You only get so many points for someone that I thought there was really no other result but a clear victory for you going in. So that's kind of the categories that I look at that he has very good cases in, and where I think maybe some people are going to have a higher case than him, where there might be a little bit of weakness. Now, having talked about the resume, the categories, the wins and losses, what I think he's emphasized well, what I think you can argue against this case, I now am going to give a range here. And just like the last video with John, I do have the range as somewhere in the top 10 for Charron. And trust me, as we get to some other ones, there is some people I'm going to project for the top 5 and things of that nature, right? But with Charron, there's going to be some people that have him top 5, they're going to be extreme about it and think that he's been dominant. Like I said, 7-0, how could you not? There's going to be some that haven't tuned into his work like that. And they're like, well, what is all this Charron noise about? Are we sure he's even top 10? Listen, 7-0, 6-0, 7-0, or at least highly up there. No clear losses. One of them is a clear high-level win versus a legend. That's when he brought his best material, and you still have a couple top-tier wins. So when I look at all that, I'm still seeing a guy who's been in the 10 best this year. There's a certain level of dominance. Now, there's going to be people that I think also are extremely strong in material and consistency. We just talked about John last video, and he was strong in material and consistency, right? So there's going to be people that, and that's subjective when it gets to material, right? It's almost like what you prefer, because if they're anywhere even in the convo for the top 10, we're already talking about people that are rapping at like a high level. So there's going to be people that are very consistent in material too, but what happens if they've just had a better strength of schedule and they battle names that we think they've been in more danger, so you give more credit to that side, right? It's all going to come down to the debate, but it's hard for me to believe there's going to be 10 people that I think have been better than Charron this year, because even though half of his resume, I think he's doing what he's supposed to do, the other half, which is these 3 top tiers, I think he went above and beyond with those plates, and especially what he did with Ilmac. You can see how highly I'm speaking of that performance. I just think, almost objectively speaking, you're not going to find 10 people that truly had a better all-around year than Charron. But that's kind of my full overview of the case. You know what I'm saying? Is he going to be flat out the COTY that we've seen with this? I find that hard to believe, because there's been some other great years. His year, as far as I know, is done, and he could pop out with a battle in December, and then that would change the view, especially if it's another top tier opponent. I try to choose people so far whose years are done, and as I see people's last battles of the year start rolling in, you're going to see me talk about maybe some more of like the bigger names that you hear often in these convos. I just want to make sure I have all the work to look at. But if this is all the work Charron's going to give this year, it's still a hell of a year, one of the best in his career, and I think it is going to go down as at least one of the top 10 best of 2024. before, but I want to hear your guys' opinions now. First of all, if you haven't seen the 40 or the Danny battle, hopefully the Ilmac battle comes out soon. And if you don't know much about Charron's year, like I said, those are the ones to check out. But I want to hear your opinions. Where do you guys personally have Charron in the conversation? Are you someone, if you are someone that's like, how did Charron get in this conversation? Please let me know. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to see kind of like the difference in perspective, right? And then if you do get to watch the battles, let me know as well. And also, what do you think is the best performance from Charron this year, if you've caught them all? Any takeaways you have regarding his year, as well as who do you want to see me cover next for the COTY projections, right? Who's the next person you want to see me do this full type of yearly breakdown on? Please let me know in the comments down below, man. But it's been J Smo Reviews again, y'all. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm gonna catch you on the next one, man. Peace.